figured you were still recovering from it.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It is just after 9:30, and I would like to call the meeting to order. We have most members of council here. We do have two members that are away this morning, Councillor Boulanger and Councillor Bazereau, which won't be with us today for our meeting. And with that, I would like to have a resolution for the adoption of the agenda, please.
Resolve the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated with the noted additions. Communication for action, 5.11, Grand Marais Santa Claus Parade.
Thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, Councillor Spicer seconds. Anything else for the agenda today? Okay, anything from council? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. The next item we have is the confirmation of the minutes, and we have one set of minutes from our regular council meeting of October the 28th, or 24th. Can I have the resolution for that, please?
Resolve the minutes of October 24th regular meeting of council be adopted as presented.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Strang seconds. Any further discussion, corrections, additions to those minutes? Everything looked like it was in order. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Okay, I see that our delegation is set for 9:45, but if you are ready to come forward, we'll let you come forward and just give us your name and location for our records, and then you can do your presentation.
All right, thank you. Evelyn Padua. I live at 113 Sunset Bay Estates. I'm living there for 2 years, I think. And this is Ed Shulsky. He is the co-owner of the lot. So I wrote that letter to you so that we can attend your council, and thank you for letting us attend the council meeting. One of the things that we want to go right into is number 5 in my email regarding the removal of trailers in our lot, not just in our lot, but also in everyone else's lot where people have trailers. And one of our concerns is, first, is the way it was done. And you can go through.
So the whole, the problem comes down to point 5, which was about the property. You buy it through the RM of St. Clements, through your sales agents, David McKinnis and Jim Spencer. We were told verbally, yes, we're allowed to keep trailers there, those kind of things like that. We asked this many times. When we got the document, the developer agreement doesn't say anything about restrictions for trailers. So that was 2 years ago, great, because we put a trailer there, a decent one, we keep our landscape in the yard, put a culvert. I think we're one of the few people actually got a permit, which was surprising, but anyway. So the plan is long-term, is eventually build and so on and so on. Anyway, so we had the trailer there, and then also we get this thing from Red River Planning, a bunch of stickers on our trailer, and we walked around and realized a lot of people have this on the property. And it was kind of a threatening tone, there's no, call me was basically it. And we were told to remove the trailers, I think it was in a couple of weeks, you know, right at fall time, which is kind of odd because it's just around September long weekend. And what's interesting is that the Red River Planning didn't follow their own rules about how they're going to notify people. We actually had to beg for a registered letter to say what the problem is. And then it talks about here about we're not allowed to have trailers on here. And it goes on, and it gives a copy about, it shows a copy of the developer agreement with the RM and Red River Planning about no trailers allowed on there. It's interesting, it says no trailers. It doesn't say camper trailers, it says no trailers, which would be, everyone in that area would be in violation, of course. But we notice when we look back at the agreement we had with RM of St. Clements buying the property, that statement about trailers was purposely removed. It wasn't an error, like a number was wrong or a spelling mistake. That agreement was modified. So when we got it, we saw it, we had a lawyer look at it, we looked at it, and everything else. It doesn't say anything about no trailers. Because if it said no trailers, we wouldn't have bought it. So we were, I guess the nice way to put it, was misled into buying this expensive piece of property that we can no longer use. Right now it's an empty lot. I can't do anything with it. I don't feel I should be forced to build something when I'm not ready to, especially at these mortgage rates and whatever. So we're trying to understand why the RM did this. Why were we, our owners, plus about how many other people?
There was about,
Over 2,000.
well, many of the property owners, which is strange, that most, 80% of them are co-owners. Is that an issue? Is that one of the issues? Which is really, when you're looking at it, this is not, someone needs to be accountable. We bought it, took out cash to buy it because we really wanted it. We wanted to develop it at some point in time. We put our trailer in there so that we could use it, and because we were told we were able to. And then we were told we couldn't anymore. And we were given this small time frame to actually remove it. It was such in a hurry that someone said, I don't know what the urgency was. You couldn't just give us at least even for the whole winter to figure out where are we going to put this? We're going to put the trailers. Some people actually bought the trailers just so that they can put it in their lots. They bought them, now they got to get rid of them. Because that was what we were told by the developers at that time when it was sold. I'm very, it's very, the trust isn't there anymore. I want to build. I'm not sure if I can trust that community. I'm not sure if any of that is there anymore. I want to sell my lot, and I feel like I'm being forced to sell my lot because of complaints from the people that owns houses, because one of them said, I want to make sure that my investment is protected. I didn't buy my lot so that I can protect everyone else's investment. I bought my lot because I want to enjoy it. And I don't know how to remedy this. And I'm looking for some kind of clarification in terms of where was the error. There certainly was an error. The Schedule B that we were told as part of the plan, as part of when we went to the mortgage lawyers, etc., says that the mobile homes are not allowed. And if we have trailers, they cannot be skirted, or it had to have wheels on it. We followed through all of that. And then suddenly on Schedule F, we were told, which was in existence in 2010, suddenly it was different. And now it says trailers are not permitted except during cottage construction, in which case they are not permitted to be on the lot for more than 2 years. That's a huge difference of what was in 2010 to when we bought it, which was in 2021. We feel like we were misled, and I don't want to use the word fraud, but I did want some answers. And that's what I have to say.
Okay, I'm gonna open it up for council questions if anyone has any questions, and then I'll turn it over to our CEO to go over some of the information that we have. I know that what I recall is that there were not supposed to be any trailers on any of the lots there. Now, if we're talking mobile homes versus travel trailers, that's something that we would have to look into, but I'm sure DPAC has some answers for us. So I'm going to open it up. Council, go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Just a question to administration. This is a development agreement
Correct. And it's
on
not,
this property
correct,
and on all the properties,
correct,
which would have been registered by Caveat when the
Correct.
subdivision took place, so it's registered on title.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else, anything? Okay, Deepak, I'll give it over to you and you can walk us
You
through
know,
what
but
we have.
first of all, take offense to the comments of fraud. There was no intent here. And everyone that's bought those properties, this is the only applicant or the purchaser that's come with these kinds of statements. Schedule B was clearly outlined, was made available. We had hired an external provider to go out and sell those properties. What may have been interpreted, what may have been communicated, I can't speak to. What I can speak to, the Schedule B was provided, which was signed by the applicant. Schedule B made it very clear. You want applicant or the purchaser can make whatever level of interpretation they want, but we have an interpretation from bylaw as well as from the Red River Planning. And as to the development agreement that was registered on title, it's made it very clear in there that it said there shall be no mobile homes on the site of any time. Manitoba Hydro will not hook up. Manitoba Hydro will not hook up to a camper, nor should the camper be skirted on wheels and removed. Mobile home, trailer, doesn't matter. You're living there. These properties were specifically subdivided to not have the development agreement itself was registered not between the municipality and Red River Planning, but at the request of the developer who subdivided the land. The developer who subdivided the land is the same person who also sold on behalf of the RM. Boulder Management that were responsible for the subdivision requested this. There was sewer services provided to this sites, and that was for the intention of selling those lots for the development. They had specific requirements that they had to be home sizes. Anybody living there had to be in a bungalow, and they made it very clear also that if there was going to be any trailers, they were to be a temporary basis only when a building permit had been applied for that met those minimum requirements that was laid out by the developer. So I appreciate the concerns that may be here, but I want to make it clear, we have had enforcement discussions on this for a number of years for many individuals, and it's been made very clear trailers are not to be located on the site. We have started the enforcement, and from my understanding is almost all individuals living there on trailers have agreed and are looking at complying.
So I think there's a few statements you said, Rob. When we said about fraud, we said this is what some people are worried that it was. We didn't say it was. I just want to ease that out of it.
No, but
It
you
just
made the
looks-
statement.
But the statement is valid
I
because
don't,
what
sir,
happens is
sir,
that
before you finish on that
We're
part,
not excusing anyone, we're just trying to say, here's what happened, right? The verbal agreement from your salespeople is one, and we understand that. We did get legal documents from RM St. Clements that we signed that has no statement about no trailers allowed on here. Never mind the mobile homes, right? Just hold on here. So we got a copy from the enforcement officer of the original, the one that's on file, your developer agreement. It states very clearly, no trailers allowed on the property and so on. Then it also has a statement about no mobile homes. And I'm going, that's interesting, because ours does not have that statement about no trailers. It was removed from your official document. That statement was removed. We got the modified one, and so did most of the other people in that property that bought land in that area. Your agreement was modified. We have copies that we have this and this. Mobile home is different than a travel trailer. We are not living in the trailer. We've never been in the trailer. It's there just so we have a place to go when we go fishing or hiking, whatever. So no one's living there. There's no hydro hooked up to it. Neither is anyone else, but we're worried about it. We're trying to figure out why is the developer agreement modified?
okay,
The
let
one
me
we got-
also make it
so
very
we were
clear.
misled.
Okay, let me make it also very clear. there was never a modification of the development agreement. Development agreement is registered on title as a caveat,
That's what we're
and
wondering, why
as a
we didn't get that.
responsibility,
Why
as a
didn't they-
responsibility of a as a purchaser, your lawyer is to get all development agreements to the purchaser. That is the responsibility of your lawyer.
You supplied the modified one. That's the
Excuse
problem.
me,
That's not.
can you please let the CAO explain?
No.
Because if you interrupt again, I'm going to ask you to depart, because you're talking, you're not listening to what our CAO is trying to explain
Okay,
to
so
you.
let me explain something. What's happened in the past is that there were sales agreements that were signed without a description of what was required as part of the development agreement. The development agreement is the requirement of your lawyer to be able to get those development agreements. Anything that's registered as a caveat on a piece of property, when you purchase a piece of property, that is all to be made available to your lawyer, and your lawyer, that's your purchasing lawyer that protects your purchase, goes and receives those. Those development agreements are not modified. What this was a sales agreement. It was not a modification for a development agreement. And what it is a paraphrase of all the items, but not to any detail level as a development agreement. What the sales agent did, which was at the request of council, was to make sure everyone was aware. And that's what the item of 2 is. That should have triggered your lawyer to verify what's registered on title. That's where it is. There is no intent of removing anything. It was a paraphrase of what was inside the development agreement. All of this, Schedule B, is part of the Schedule B of purchasing agreement. Schedule F is the schedule that was specifically registered on title as a caveat on all properties in that subdivision. And every property sale that's occurred, their lawyer is required to go out and make sure those caveats, as in any purchase that happens anywhere. Because caveats can be registered not only by RMs, caveats can be registered by other agencies. And you need to know what you can and what you can't do. A caveat can be a restriction on development. A caveat can be a restriction on use of the property. All those things are the responsibility of the purchaser with their lawyer.
Is it okay?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
So my question is, it was interesting when you were talking about paraphrasing. If there was a list of items, 1 to 12, for instance, the developer agreement, schedule, whatever you want it. And then the one we see has one of those statements surgically removed. Whole statement is removed. Now there's 11 items on there. That is not paraphrasing, it is misleading. Because this is what we saw, and our discussions with many other property owners in the area went the same thing. We did not know there was no trailers allowed. That would have made a difference in the sale, which would have been, we wouldn't have bought it, or we would have thought about it, or just pass up on the deal and let somebody else buy it. That is the problem, is we were misled by whoever. Why was that statement removed? It's not a paraphrase like, oh, you can build stuff and whatever. I understand what you mean by paraphrasing, but this statement, the key thing in there, the problem we're having, was surgically removed from the document. When you look at it, going, how would I know this problem exists if I didn't know it was here? We're not arguing about the difference between a travel trailer that's parked there so I can go ice fishing or something, or a mobile home which people live in. Those are different things. We're not asking for that. We're wondering, why was that statement removed from the documents we got, our lawyers got, and everyone else? That is the question. One that a lot of people are wanting. It's not a paraphrase, it's a removal.
We could certainly ask Sunset Bay Estates, who were doing the sales on behalf of the RM. But again, I must bring to the point, registered caveats on a piece of property. This was not even required as a part of an agreement for sales. They made sure that they did that at the request of the RM to make sure people were aware. If they did it and missed something or didn't do it properly, that's something to discuss with them. But at the same point, the caveat and the registered caveat for the development agreement still sits on that property, and the lawyers should have made you aware of those.
And I respect why
And
you're
that
trying
Schedule
to,
F would have been there.
and I respect you trying to move or share the responsibility with some other different lawyer. The point is, why did the documents we got from the RM have that important statement removed? And we actually went out of the way to go, is there any other things that are missing from this property? And that's the interesting thing, is because it looks like to us and everyone else involved, and it wasn't, just hearsay. I wish they would have been here too. But the point is, why was that statement removed from the documents we got from the RM the same comments? Surgically removed, sorry.
As I've stated, that we had a purchasing, we had a sales agent who was responsible for executing the sales, and the RM was not responsible for creating the documents. The purchasing agent, which was the developer, who was clearly the person who created these development agreements with the RM that were registered on title, was the sales agent. They were aware of this. What has happened, we can follow up on it, but at the same point, there is a legal agreement signed on title. And it isn't a document from the RM, and it wasn't modified by the RM.
But the RM was the seller of the property, right?
RM was selling a piece of property through the agent.
Okay, but the point is, RM was owning the property before they sold it.
That's right.
And I would like you to follow up on this. I appreciate that offer. This is really important. I've been going through the council minutes for the last 12, 13, whatever years you have on it, looking for anything to deal with Sunset Bay Estates. It is interesting or confusing why everything, well, not everything, sorry, I'm exaggerating, why the majority of the information about this whole development was in camera. There's nothing in there that helps us explain what's going on. I'm just pointing that out. It was a little bit peculiar to a lot of the property owners there, right? So, okay, I won't say that's being resolved, this issue we have, but we understand where we're sitting right now with that statement, right? We haven't figured out why the statement was removed to mislead us. It might have been the salespeople, whatever, I'm not blaming people.
Yeah, the Airbnb, commercial properties, that is on Airbnb. It says also in the development agreement that there shall be no commercial business being held in that area. I'm aware of 4 houses that are on Airbnb, registered on Airbnb, and I'm aware that there's a lot of people that are in there vacationing, and they are the ones that are actually causing a lot of issues with trailers on the, with ATVs on the beaches, etc. I realize that's an RM St. Clements, it's a bylaw, municipal bylaw, etc. But why are they being allowed? Why is that not being enforced?
Can I comment? What,
Yeah, you can comment.
when somebody is speeding in a vehicle, and they say to the police officer, why are somebody else that was speeding earlier, why are they allowed? The usual answer is we're dealing with you first, we're dealing with you on your particular situation, and we're also dealing with that. I can have our bylaw officer speak to that. Yes, we're aware, and we are dealing with all complaints related to Airbnb.
Because we've made
I
complaints.
can have our bylaw officer
Sure.
speak to that.
Because we've made complaints, we've heard nothing back. Right? And the whole point is it came back to the developer agreement that says no commercial businesses. So,
Okay, our
Yeah,
bylaw officer is here, and I'm gonna turn it
Fantastic.
over to him and let him explain that part of it, because I know that he's been working diligently on some of these issues that you talk about. Just because you don't hear anything about it, it doesn't mean that it's being ignored and nothing is being done. There is a process, and Tyler does work on those processes. So when you say that there's 4 advertised, it doesn't mean we're ignoring it. It means that we're working on it.
I'd like to know the process.
Yeah, and I would just ask a simple question where, I know you submitted your complaint to Red River Planning with the Airbnbs, correct? We got that over the plan. My first question is, have you heard back from Trevor saying he has received your complaint?
no,
You have not?
no.
Okay. I'll look into that because he did let me know that he did connect and he sent you guys an email saying we got the complaint. We'll look at it as soon as possible. That's what he told me. So that's, we'll figure that out, but I'm very certain that he did. But in the big picture, when we're looking at enforcing this development agreement and all the issues in Sunset Bay, there's many times where we'll, like Deepak mentioned, we're knocking on a door, we're dealing with the problem at hand, and then 2 weeks later, the person we're dealing with now strums up 10 other complaints. That's fine, but these things do take time to get to. Planning will deal with those. Airbnb is no issue at all. And they did tell me they would get to that right away. But we're dealing with this big development right now, and it's a lot of work. So that's gonna take a little bit of precedence right now. But we will get to the Airbnb, no problem.
And Airbnb is a larger bylaw-related issue as to what can be identified as a commercial business or not.
Correct.
And it's not just a common problem in the R of St. Clements, it's an issue right across the country.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at making various changes in bylaws and things in order to be able to deal with that. Just like Winnipeg is, just like Toronto is, just like many are, the arm of St. Andrews is, as well as the arm of West St. Paul's.
Yeah. And respect, I understand that because it is complicated, but looking at B&B, because to start when you need to have a commercial business, you need a license, you need a church, it's pretty clear exactly as a commercial business. And again, I'm dealing with the Sunset Bay development, which is very clear, no commercial businesses, because we don't want to turn it into industrial, because the whole idea. Personally, I don't have, I understand that it's a bit complicated, but the point is, it's funny that some things are being enforced, and the other ones, again, they probably are behind the scenes, and I respect that, because I've been in there. But it's just, again, we're not hearing communication, and it kind of looks, to a lot of people in there, a little bit, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it.
And yeah, I'll speak openly about the scenario here. And just to backtrack to your Filipino comment about enforcement. Yeah, so how the enforcement looked in this situation had nothing to do with race in any way, shape, or form. We went to every single property with violation and dealt with every single person in Saxon. Roughly 40 people. So far, we're sitting at about 30 of them full compliance, no issue. Sort of we didn't know, or we did know, here's the issue, they're removing their trailers. We're also working with another 5 or 6 right now, and 2 more trailers popped up in the last time we were dealing with it. So overall compliance has been really, really good. The feedback, obviously some people are upset. It is what it is, but people are compliant. So things are doing really, really good in there. The enforcement process is good. Everyone had the same opportunity, the same communication. Everything was presented the exact same way. Right?
And like you said about how people are compliant, is a good statement, because if we had known that these trailers weren't allowed, the camper trailers were specifically, like again, if that statement was there would have been no issue with compliance because everybody knew. But this isn't just us in our lawyer. This is a lot of the people in the area had the same issue. That's the interesting thing. It's not a one-person mistake. This is a multiple issue thing.
Right, but,
Yeah.
but the compliance is overwhelming.
Yeah, it is, because they're being threatened.
No, they're being enforced to the
They're-
development.
No, no,
They're being told,
I
hang on a
should-
second, if
Sorry,
I could
what I
speak,
mean, yeah.
so I could speak on this one. Tyler, have we not sent letters out in previous years?
Yes,
We have sent letters out in previous years. Just like you were asking us about enforcement on the Airbnbs, there has been a long process in the enforcement of these. So many of the people, whether they claim they know it or did not know it, they were aware. Some people have been saying they've been there for 10 years and have been completely aware
yeah.
of the fact that they weren't allowed. So it's not a matter of saying that there were a lot of people that did. We have sent out letters in the past as well.
Is there any way, no, I don't go down that path right now, I'm gonna keep it from, okay, we'll just leave it. So there is enforcement on the B&Bs, is it something we can?
There will be, again, like Deepak mentioned, we're going to look into it. The term Airbnb is an issue, like Deepak mentioned, throughout the province, the term Airbnb. But the fact that the complaint was raised, all I will confirm is that Red River Planning has your complaint. I've seen it, and as far as I know, and I truly believe, Red River Planning has connected with you and said that we got your complaint, we'll look at it as soon as possible.
And that's an issue, maybe we should bring that up with Trevor, because we don't get much communication back from him.
Yeah,
And I understand that too, because he's
Yeah, but-
busy, I'm not arguing with Trevor, I mean, or anybody
But
else.
here's
It's
something
just
that,
that we don't get the information, so that's why we're kind of here right now, because we don't know what's going on. That's the
So,
big issue, the communication.
okay, I'm gonna ask you this question, what are you expecting every time Tyler makes a phone call? Do you
No.
want to be, do you want to be
No.
notified? Because that's how it sounds, that you
No, no,
don't have
I-
any communication.
I think that's exaggeration. What we're doing, if we made a complaint, do we get a thing that we received your complaint, we're looking into it?
not always.
You know, so, okay, so.
And that's the thing, like, in the big picture with the amount of complaints I deal with, what I openly let people know is, because people do, hey, can I get a call back, can I get a call back? I'll say I'm gonna try, but you can call me in a couple of weeks and ask for an update, because it's overwhelming the amount of complaints. But to speak directly about communication, just while we're on that topic, I believe it was roughly August 25th, you were made aware of the violation.
No, well, there was apparently a sticker put on the trailer, but we don't live at the trailer.
Right, but there was communication from both these parties saying, we received this violation on the trailer. So the issue was known back in August. 2 months, I just looked at the emails.
Yeah,
2 months later, you're claiming that you can't deal with the infraction because you didn't receive the registered mail as it went to a different property owner.
yeah,
My communication with planning is, we'll get you that, but it's irrelevant because you already knew of the violation back in
Yeah.
August. 2 months later, you're asking for extension because you didn't know about it. And you need a copy of the registered letter, which is irrelevant because you already were aware of the violation with the on-site meeting you had with planning in August.
yeah, we met with David, and Trevor.
Right.
Explained the situation, okay, we get it, but again, you can't just take out a 30-foot trailer and just put it anywhere.
But there are compounds everywhere that store trailers for a reasonable
It's
fee.
not just parking it, it's pulling it out, disconnecting. I understand what you're saying. Get it out because we want it out because people have complained about trailers. I get that sort of stuff. But that's where the thing started was, again, why did our statements not show about the travel trailers? And it sounds like, too bad, so sad. And,
It's not
Yeah.
travel trailers. You're
Is it?
living in it.
but we
You're
don't have.
interpreting your interpretation of it. There was a Schedule B that was put in as part of the sales agreement, and that was to make sure people understood that you weren't to live there in something other than a house.
Yeah.
And there was a Schedule F that was part of the sales agreement, that was it.
Yeah.
There was a Schedule F that was attached to the original sale, or as to the caveat, and that's the one that said, trailers are not permitted except during cottage construction. Those trailers can be considered different. Construction trailer, it was a trailer.
Yeah.
But you're making your interpretation of your mobile home, whether that's a mobile home or a trailer, whatever you want to call it. What is very clear is nothing other than a cottage is to be allowed on that property. That's it, for living under.
Right, and we're not living there, don't want to. The other thing about the trailer, just to clarify, was that actually one of the things we got from the enforcement officer actually added the word camper to the word for the statement of trailers for.
Like on the violation itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's again,
but,
every property, some had pop-up campers, some had fifth wheels, some had 5 fifth wheels, some had mobile homes, some had park model trailers. We're only expanding when we're writing, hey, there's a violation here, remove the camper trailer, there's camper trailer. If there's a fifth wheel, I'm gonna probably write 5th, fifth wheel. It's just to expand on what's in front of us. That's all.
yeah,
Okay, I
we get
think,
the point.
I think Councillor Porter's had one comment. Go ahead.
I'm familiar with the area, I live in the area, and I'm familiar with a lot of people that are starting to build there and that, I've talked to a lot of them. And one thing you have to remember is that the RM hasn't taken over this subdivision yet
Mhm.
with the developer. He's still not met a lot of things that we require from him.
Yeah.
We've been after him for the last couple of years, I would say, is this not true?
Or longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he keeps dragging it out, so from an RM perspective, I don't know if this is true or not, but we're not really,
The owners of it, yeah.
exactly yet, so, I mean, you should go after your developer here for a lot of this stuff too. I mean,
And I kind of, that's actually some of our other points. So I'm seeing we kind of share the same common problem here. Is the developer made all these promises to you, the RM, the river, and us. They're not meeting the requirements.
He was
So-
supposed to do a development there, add
Yeah.
some buildings there. Now he wants the community to,
Yeah,
start so he gets rid of all his problems and gives them all to you.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Offers
saying?
even,
Yeah,
a
so I don't
donation
know.
to take it over, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah. So maybe that's where our issue is more with them because.
I would think so, yeah.
And maybe that's.
Not
the other
trying to
part.
shift the blame here,
No, no,
not
no.
taking the
We're
responsibility.
not trying to
or whatever.
blame the RM, I wanna make it clear, we're not
Yeah.
trying to go any personal, maybe the word what we used before was wrong. It just say, other people have said it because they're upset and angry.
Yeah.
Just to show you the thing, I just wanna let everyone know we're on the same page here.
Thank you so much.
So I think that's the issue is with the developer thing, and that was the other part was, what do they still have to do?
Well, they have to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
there's drainage issues there,
Yeah,
there's
drainage
road
issues,
issues,
so,
you know, there's a
but who
lot
goes
of issues.
after the,
We go after
Yeah.
him and he's not compliant,
so maybe that's part of the thing, because a lot of people, you know, it doesn't matter, we beat this to death, we're done.
I think
Okay,
we're gonna, Deepak will look into it, and if there's anything that we can pass on to you people, like Deepak, you maybe wanna wrap up.
Just to wrap up, that you've been requested to do this. I'm not sure what the intent of yours was, but we have to comply to the development agreement that's registered on the Cape. Now, enforcement action has been done, we're going to identify specific dates, but Tyler has been given flexibility, working with Red River Planning, to work with you. If you have trouble accommodating within those timelines and would like some extensions and so forth, those are allowed. It's just that to say that we were not told and we want to continue, that can't happen. But we can certainly work towards a resolution with you. That's
We're not
how
looking
we
for
work.
an extension because we were leaving for a trip, so we pulled our trailer out. It wasn't fun because it did some damage, but whatever. It's frustrating, we put all this money into the property, develop it, make it look good, to fit in the neighborhood. We're looking at long-term of building a house, whatever. And, it's like, this dream is dead because all these issues, we can't work with people, nobody responds, shouldn't say, and then their B&Bs are going up, and it's just like, really? So, I don't know what the remedy was, we were hoping for, like, yeah, we can keep our trailer there for a while till we figure out what we're gonna do, we know that's not gonna happen. I can see it look in your face, so, we'll just go with different
It's
path.
not the intent, it's not the intent of the RM to discourage people to move here and develop here and live here. You know, it's just that we're kind of in the middle of something
Yeah,
that's put us there. We don't want people to think that. They put sewer up there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big thing to put up
oh,
there.
yeah.
You know, to have a great development there, so.
And that's what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So it's just kinda like,
Yeah.
but,
It's
And we're
like 20
obligated
years
to-
ahead of its time, so.
And we're obligated,
yeah.
and we're obligated to enforce the development agreement.
No, I
That was
understand.
registered on those lots by the developer, not by the RM. These are not requirements of the RM. These are requirements of an official caveated development agreement that was put on those properties that we have to enforce.
And I guess that's frustrating, is who's really to deal with, and we'll figure that out. I appreciate your comments, appreciate your time, gives us a better direction where
It's
we wanna go.
It's
So,
really frustrating for me because I don't like this cloud coming over the RM, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, I know that development went through a lot of struggles at the beginning, it still does, I mean, I know there's a lot of history on it, but, it's just like, I can kinda see why these things happen, but we're done. But thanks for your support, I hope you guys have a
Thank you.
great day.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
too, thank
Thanks
you.
again for your help.
No problem. Just to confirm that email I was talking about went at the October 18th, I just looked at it. But again, left out that valuable piece of information when they're claiming what information passed to you guys, which is correct. And then, to further expand on what I was trying to say was, yes, there was an on-site meeting in August, which they mentioned with their one in planning, the violations were clearly there. And that was an August.
It's simple, hey,
Yeah,
We should do this
Yeah.
in camera.
we can talk to you a little bit later.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, I have to go and, I'll be right back, so if you just wanna start going, that's fine with me. I gotta get some coffee.
Okay.
That's not it.
Communication for action, watersheds.
So the Watersheds Conference, there's a conference scheduled for November the 17th. The registration's closed and it's for December the 4th to the 6th at the Keystone Center in Brandon, Manitoba. As you know, the Watershed Conference occurs right after the AMM, usually in the same municipality, and it's about a week later. So we're going to look to see if there's any members that are interested, any council members that would be interested. And we received, so far, I think we'll receive this as information, Mr. Chair, as it looks like no one has shown any interest in being able to attend this conference this year.
Not even in here, right?
Not even a mayor.
Okay.
So,
So,
I thought Glenn was.
what kinds of ways, so?
No, Glad's not interested.
He's not, oh,
No.
okay, the next one is the Aboriginal Veterans Day ceremonies. This was a request sent over to the RM for individuals to attend. As you know, the ceremony has already occurred, and we're just coming forward with a proper resolution for the individuals that attended that meeting. And that is resolved that Mayor Peebles and Councillor Sutherland and Horvis be authorized for their attendance at the Broken Head Ojibwe Nation Aboriginal Veterans Day ceremonies at the private Tom Chief Memorial Center, Scattenbury, Manitoba, which was held on November 7th.
I'll move that.
Second by Councillor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And the next one is an invitation to the Santa Claus Parade of Lights in Selkirk, Manitoba. And this will be occurring, as I recall, December 1st.
Are we putting a float in again?
Yes, on Friday, December 1st. And I think we usually put in a float on the Santa Claus Parade, so we can certainly make arrangements with Public Works to get a float ready. And then we usually have our designated driver, Councillor Sutherland, usually for the float, unless someone else is volunteering.
Nobody else is volunteering?
And
If you
so,
want to go, Dave, you can.
so for the Santa Claus Parade of Lights, we have resolved Mayor Feeblecorn, Councillor Sutherland, Strang, and Boulanger be authorized to attend the 2023 Santa Parade of Lights in the city of Selkirk on December 1st, 2023, and further be it resolved, administration be authorized to submit the $50 entry fee.
I put Rob's name in just in case. Sometimes he attempts.
Yeah, if he doesn't go, I can go.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine, but put Councillor Horvis in there too.
And Councillor Horvis.
Yeah. Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Moving.
Oh, you're moving? Okay. Okay, and the other thing I'm just gonna mention before we have the vote on it is that I guess we will need a couple of people to hand out some candy if it's, yeah, so usually Councillor Strang does that, and sometimes we have somebody from Public Works do that too, so Heather will look after getting the goodies for the kids on the.
Comes with her dog.
With a daughter, sometimes.
Yeah, so. Okay, so I have the resolution moved by Councillor Spicer, second by Councillor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Okay, the Plan 2050 public consultation.
Again, this was already occurred in Winnipeg, Stonewall, and Ildershane for the 1st, 7th, and the 9th of November. And we're just bringing forward the resolution to ratify the individuals that attended. So what I have is resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and Councillor Spicer and Strang be authorized for their attendance at the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Plan 2050 public consultation at the Quarry Park Heritage Arts Center in Stonewall, Manitoba on November 7th, 2023.
Okay, before I ask for a mover and a seconder, I will let council know that I did not attend any of the sessions with the weather the way it was and different things that were happening. I just couldn't get away. So Counselor Spicer, did you happen to get to Stonewall? Okay,
Yes.
good. Counselor Strang, no?
So
Okay,
we'll
so it's only
modify the
Counselor
resolution.
Spicer, yes.
Resolved, Councillor Spicer be authorized for his attendance at the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Plan 2050 Public Consultation at the Quarry Park Heritage Arts Centre, Stonewall, Manitoba, on November 7th, 2023.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Counselor Corbus, second. Counselor Strang, further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And I guess, Counselor Spicer, when you're doing your committee report, I'll have a couple of questions on that because I understand that the attendance was not that great at any of them. I guess because of the weather, like I don't know when you went, but there weren't very many people there, I know, on the Tuesday night in Stonewall, so we can talk about that a little bit later. Okay, the next one we have is the Holiday Alley.
Yes, which will be coming up for, on November 16th to the 19th. And they are providing 2 free tickets for the RM on behalf of that. And as part of that, what we have is a resolution, which is resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and which councillors, if any councillors are interested, I don't know if there are any.
Thursday.
That's this weekend, yes.
Correct.
We're
Starting
already
this
at Red
Thursday.
River Basin on Thursday.
Oh, right. But are you doing anything like on Friday or Saturday
I have my name down
to help out? Okay.
Yeah, Holiday Alley. So, so resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and Councillor Strang be authorized to attend the Holiday Alley in the city of Selkirk on November 16th and 19th, 2022.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Spicer, Counselor Corbus seconds. Further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And I'm not sure with these 2 free tickets, like I know if we're going to Morris, nobody can attend, so I don't know if we want to,
Somebody in the office?
somebody in the office or whatever, yeah.
What about Brenna? Maybe she'd like to go, no?
That is that concert with, isn't that the one with Burnstick?
I think it,
Yeah.
I remember reading it.
Jason Burnstick and his Métis wife and musician Nadia Godette Burns, so.
We'll see if there's anybody interested from
Yeah.
from the office.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. I mean, I plan on going, probably Saturday for part of the day, but Thursday and Friday probably not. Okay, Remembrance Day service from the Legion.
Yes, and this was the Remembrance Day services on, held on November 11th, Remembrance Day, and we're just bringing forward the resolution for the attendance. In this case, Mayor Feeblecorn, and we have written it as Mayor Feeblecorn and Council be authorized for their attendance at the Royal Canadian Legion Remembrance Day service at the Selkirk Recreation Center, which is held on November 11th.
Right.
As we didn't know who else attended, so
I'm not sure that any other council members attended. I was there, and I know that Councillor Sutherland went to Grand Marais to their.
Yes, I did.
And I don't know if we did that last time,
Yeah.
the Grand Marais
Yeah.
one. Okay,
We
so, okay. So I was the only one that was in Selkirk.
okay, so resolve Mayor Feeblecorn be authorized for her attendance at the Royal Canadian Legion Remembrance Day ceremony at Selkirk Recreation Center, which was held on November 11th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Sutherland seconds. All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And then I think we're at the ARM Christmas supper at, in West St. Paul.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and so the
Did you have
our
any-
Christmas dinner has been scheduled for December the 7th on a Thursday at the ARM of West St. Paul in the Access Center. And in this case, spouses and staff are also welcome to attend.
Okay.
And so where are we?
I'm not sure. Usually,
I put their names in.
Okay,
just to be
just to
certain
be
that I'll
safe,
email them.
okay. And I guess the other thing is it is open to staff, so if we could extend the invitation to yourself and the staff that if anybody wants to come, or we can figure that out, who
Sure.
may want to attend.
Okay, resolve Mayor Feeble-Corn and Councilors Strang, Sutherland, Vassar-Roach, and Belanger be authorized to attend the Association of Rural Municipalities meeting at the Access Center in West St. Paul, December 7th.
Counselor Spicer, you're not gonna go to that one?
I wasn't planning on
Okay, and I guess the other one, Councilor Corbus.
I just
I put,
added
yeah,
it.
Okay, okay, so we got the resolution up there, and can I have a mover, please, then? Counselor Strang, Counselor Corbus seconds, any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, call the question, all those in favor, opposed, and that is
so
carried.
the 7th is their dinner and the 8th is ours, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I have one on the 9th, too. It's that time of the year.
Better wear sweats.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have from the Manitoba Climate Action Team, the Rural Public Transit Online Discussion, and I think that was on our list to attend if we wanted to. And Heather, I'm not sure if anybody has interest in that one, or Deepak, do you have anything that you want to comment on that one?
I think the situation is the time that it's occurring on might be difficult for everyone to attend.
Okay. Oh, right,
Because of the AMM.
right, the 21st or the 23rd in the evening.
Those ones I think are open, but
Well, we have council the
Council's
21st.
the 21st.
You guys are probably traveling the 23rd, if anything, Gene? Can't remember what the event
I think so, yeah.
There.
Just bring up the
I'm sure
calendar.
you get pictures and put them
No, we're not traveling till the 27th, or 26th. So, I don't know if we had, it was circulated, so let's see who's shown any interest. Resolved, so far there's been no request, we just got the standard for Mayor Feeble-Corn, if you're interested.
This one, unfortunately not.
Cannot make it. Okay, so we'll receive it as information out of there.
Thank you.
And the next item is Manitoba Accessibility Office is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. And with disabilities, and what they're looking to is proclaimed in, on November 30th is what they're having is,
The travel day.
yeah, which is the travel day for the airmen. So I'm saying receive this as information unless there's somebody specifically interested in going.
Which one is that?
The Accessibility Office
Oh,
Celebration
okay.
International Day of Disabilities.
Right.
It's a webinar.
Do we need to do anything with our office as far as, or our building as far as accessibility is concerned? Like, would there be anything there?
No,
Okay.
nothing specific. Just a webinar celebrating successes.
Okay,
And the next is the Interlake Eastern Health Authority Strategic Plan Review. Again, this is right in the middle of the AMM.
Travel day.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
so-
will be attending, but I might be listening or attending via Zoom in my car, depending if I'm on my way home from Brandon.
Well, I think you would, the conference is supposed to end at 2 o'clock, and this is from 9 AM till noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so we may have to do this before we do the conference, depending on how things go.
so, I don't know if anybody else has any interest. I put on my sheet there that I'm not attending as a municipal delegate, I'm attending as a board member for the IERHA, so,
Okay, so then we'll just leave it as, receive it as info.
yeah.
And then the next is the Grand Marais Santa Claus Parade. And so this is on December 9th at 12:30 PM. And so this is the next day after, for For a change, our Christmas party is not on the same day
Yeah.
as the Santa Claus parade.
Okay, I will go to that one and hopefully someone will be able to drive the truck because we usually do put in the truck or a vehicle or a float, whatever the case may be. Theirs is a little bit different, like we do hand out candy there too, but they also have a Santa breakfast prior to, and I know that, I think in some years they actually were having the candy giveaway right at breakfast rather than on the parade route. But I think last year it was on the parade route. Who walked last year? You did, didn't you? Yes, and you fell.
No, that was the first year I
Oh.
picked up. But you're going, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go too, yeah.
So, anyone else?
Me.
Should we just say Mayor People Corning Council be authorized and then we can determine?
Yeah.
if we make it?
Yeah.
Okay, so resolve, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, like Public Works, they usually have the truck up at the Hollow Fire.
Yes.
Somebody will have to get candy, I guess, for us, eh?
Well,
I've got
Yes.
candy canes ordered.
Okay.
yeah. Well, and we'll have for the week before for the Selkirk one, so Heather probably ordered enough for both.
Yeah.
So just candy canes?
I'm not sure. Go ahead, Sandra.
Where do you order them from? Like just going to Sobeys to the warehouse, they're super cheap there.
They came from the warehouse on Ellis, I can't remember what the name is.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very
great
cheap.
Canadian super.
Right.
Yeah.
Super cheap. I didn't know Sobeys had them, sorry.
Well, that's the same thing.
Just the,
It's-
at
they're cheap
Arlington,
there, too.
yeah, they have.
Oh,
They're
the
a
cash and
warehouse,
carry.
cash and carry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sobeys has a bunch of stuff right now that they're blowing out, which is probably from Halloween, but it's not Halloween, there's nothing related to Halloween. It's all the little chocolate
Yeah,
bars.
little
if you want to
chocolate
mix it
bars,
up.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
Candy canes, just candy canes.
Well, I can get more than just candy canes.
Yeah, black suckers, definitely.
Black cats,
Yeah.
black cat candy.
Okay, I guess we will read this resolution
Okay, so,
and,
resolve Mayor People Corning Council be authorized to attend the Grand Marais Santa Claus Parade in Grand Marais, Manitoba on December 9th, 2023.
can I have a mover, please? Counselor Spicer, second Counselor Sutherland. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, moving on to new and other business. AMM, the Fall Convention meeting request. The state has passed, but I don't believe that there were any ministers that we were interested in meeting at this point in time.
No, we did bring it up at an earlier council meeting and it was felt that this wasn't the right time to set up any meetings.
Pretty short window.
Yeah.
Unless I read it incorrectly, like a week, we were supposed to respond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think the best bet is, as per discussions at the last hour, or at the last council meeting, what we can do is that I'll send out, resend the letters that were specifically dealing with specific issues that we have outstanding in the province of Manitoba. One is speed and signage along Henderson Highway, where the accident occurred, speed and reduction along Highway 44, as well as hunting
Floodway?
on the floodway and Covell for recognizing that, to see if there can be any support on doing a larger study and doing some development on Covell Road. So we can send those letters out as a reminder to the province with the new ministers.
Yeah. Well, and further on our agenda, I'm sure everybody saw that there was a letter from Honorable Ian Bushy, who is the Minister for Municipal and Northern Relations. So, I mean, if we really needed to meet with somebody, we could always just reach out to whoever we want to meet with and have a meeting with them, so. I mean, it's not like we're far away. I guess I kind of always think of when they used to say that, especially when it was in Winnipeg, that these meetings were always more with the municipalities that were further away from the city of Winnipeg so that they had the opportunity to meet. We never used to be able to get in to see them, so.
Yeah, that's my understanding. From my understanding, that's why the new premier has established a West Mad office to be able to communicate with people in West Mad.
Yeah.
Is there anything that maybe we could get to help with our landfill site? Is there something in there we could talk to someone about for that?
How do you mean,
Well, we have all that problem there, we're trying to, update.
with the leachate
Yeah,
or
with
just?
the leachate, it's gonna be a big thing for us. I think.
We're looking at a cell upgrade as well.
Is there something there maybe?
I have my own thoughts on that one, so.
Wasn't there a grant that you could apply for?
Yes. Yeah, so Arlene is looking into it, we'll follow up. That's right.
Like with the wood chipping, all that stuff to get environmentally, just whatever, get up on it. So.
And we're having those discussions on the wood chipping and overall with the St. Paul, as we take a look at our transfer stations and see if we can maybe work together as we move forward into this. Okay, so the other is the 2023 holiday hours. Madam Mayor, if I could.
Yes, go right ahead.
Excuse me. As council's aware, every year we shut down between Christmas and New Year's, as it usually translates to 2 to 3 days of holidays that staff can take, and it's only offered if somebody has banked hours or holidays, and if anybody chooses to come in, they can still come into work, but it gives an opportunity to, as opposed to everybody making sure that we know that the offices are closed. We've been doing it for a number of years, and this year we will be looking at closing on half a day on December 27th, half a full day on 28th, and half a day on the 29th, which would make it that we were closed from Christmas till January the 2nd.
I don't think that's any different than past years.
No, just depends on the day of the week, but
Right.
Christmas and New Year's falls usually. Okay, so we brought we're recommending approval for those days.
Yep.
And we brought up a calendar and so forth that shows that. So a resolution for that, Madam Mayor, is resolved, council accept the following hours for the 2023 holiday season. Monday, December 5th, 25th, closed Christmas Day. Tuesday, December 26th, closed Boxing Day. Wednesday, December 27th, closed half-day pending holiday bank time and half-day as per contract. Thursday, December 28th, closed pending holiday bank time, holiday or bank time, and Friday, December 29th, closed half-day pending holiday and bank time, and a half-day as per contract. Monday, January 1st, closed New Year's Day.
Okay. Mover, Councillor Spicer, second Councillor Horbis. Any further discussion?
One question.
Go ahead.
So, snowstorm would be
Yes.
critical snowblock.
Yes, if there's a snowstorm or any other emergencies that are needed for our staff, then obviously those days are canceled and staff are expected to come into the office and deal with those issues. And the next is nominations for the Lieutenant Governor's Award, Community Leadership Awards. There were some very specific items.
Is that the moment?
Oh, we haven't, sorry, we haven't, okay.
Okay. The holiday hours, I don't believe we did.
We have a mover seconder, we just need.
Oh, need to have the vote? Okay. Have a mover, have a seconder. All those in favor? Opposed, and that is carried.
Okay.
So we are at the Lieutenant Governor's nominations.
So this is a request for nominations for the Lieutenant Governor's Award, and they're looking for anyone that's had significant commitment to community development that the ERI would like to put forward as somebody that can be taken into it.
When do they have to be in by?
January 15th.
There's a number of categories too, right?
So
Yes.
perhaps we can have a look at this and bring it back?
Yeah, maybe
Certainly.
somebody from here, somebody from legal, or something.
Well, because I'm only saying that because the names don't have to be until January. It's not like we have to do it today, so we can put our thinking caps on and see if we can come up with some people from our area to nominate for some of these, so. Yeah, and it looks like there's quite a bit there because it's a 7-page document, so there's lots of stuff there, yeah, so. Okay, Heather, if you could earmark that to come back, not till the December meeting, whatever day that is, just, okay.
Okay, next item, Madam Mayor, then is the Recreation Manitoba Awards Program. Again, this is a list of several awards, but I think what they required in this one was the nomination period is till January 16th, but you have to be in the recreation program for a number of years, have worked in the profession for a minimum of 5 years and so forth. They've led to positive impact. So again, we have some time. This is something to take into consideration if you want to look at somebody that's been involved in recreation for a number of years.
The only one really, would probably Blake, eh? That type of.
Here's a bunch of categories you guys can look at.
Okay.
Blake
Well,
did-
although Brenna's not been with us for that length of time, she has been in recreation for a
Yeah.
number of years.
What about even Dave King? Maybe in one of these categories.
Big K, maybe another category option, some of the other ones in. So why don't we bring this back in December as well?
Sure. Sure.
Look at those.
Okay, and 6.5 I think we're at, which is the South St. Clements Activity Center construction contract.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and what this is we've had negotiations with our, as you know, we've selected Caltech, and their original proposal was to finish by December 2nd. Obviously, as part of the contract, we had some negotiation discussions with them. We also said that there would be penalties if they went beyond substantial completion, so I felt, well, if you're going to institute penalties, let's stick with your original contract date in March. Delivery, and with some further negotiations and discussions, we've come to an agreement, yes, that makes sense. Because we don't want them rushing, but we want definitely penalties if they go beyond that. So we've estimated the penalties to be about $1,700 a day. Our project manager is very adamant about making sure that those are in place, and I would 100% agree with them. I think it's, they stated that they weren't specifically identified, but we did show them that it was in the RFP, that there was the opportunity to, for the RF to be able to introduce something like this into our contract. So our contract has gone through with the supplemental contract with our, it's been approved by our lawyers as well as it's been approved by discussions with Caltech. So we're looking for permission of the council for the mayor and the CAO to sign off on this contract and proceed with construction as soon as possible.
So it's,
Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
so it's $1,700 a day after March 31st, 2025.
Correct. Unless there's unforeseen circumstances, which would come through a change order. And then, of course, we'll keep council apprised if there's any changes. You know, but if there's justifiable, like acts of God, let's say there's a significant flood or significant snowstorms or earthquakes, hurricanes, anything like that.
But the possibility of change orders is very low now.
Correct.
Because we were trying to stay out of that.
That's right. So we have to remember this is going to be a CCDC 14 contract, which is related with design build. So what they are is now responsible for the delivery to those timeframes and to the product that we've agreed to. So they have some flexibility in the design and the construction method to get it done, but we are expecting a product now at a particular date with guaranteed prices.
Go ahead, Scott.
So change orders can come from both sides, correct?
Correct.
So there still may be change orders, because if they have trouble getting supply of certain things, then they might ask for a change order and then have us review whether it's still at the level of quality we're looking for.
Correct. If they're looking at changing the material that they may have quoted that may have changed, or that we're requesting for something, but obviously we want to limit our request to next to nil, because the price on those change orders, as in any kind of contract, are always going to be a lot higher than when they originally bid.
I guess the question that I would have, like, I don't have a problem with doing this, but I guess, is there any possibility, if the weather is really good and everything, that we can have it completed by the end of 2024?
There's a possibility. They're still going to try to achieve as quickly as possible.
It's to their benefit, the sooner they get it done,
Yes.
you know.
I realize that,
Move
but
on to the next.
yeah, but I guess, you know, we've, this project has been ongoing for so many years, and I guess I would prefer that it be done sooner rather than later. And I mean, if the weather is really horrible and things like that, that's one thing, but if the weather is good, I think that they should be, their feet should be held to the fire to keep going on it and get it done as quickly as possible.
That's our intent with them. They just didn't, because there was a penalty clause,
Right,
that made them nervous about having a deadline date of December the 2nd. But I think what they'll be doing is they're still trying to achieve
right,
the soonest as possible, so that they don't have to work through the winter.
yeah.
And if they can get substantial completion before the worst of the weather, better for them.
Right, okay. Go ahead, Scott.
And there's been no change in the contract price, other than those things that we approved.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so whereas Cameron Consulting Limited was chosen by the selection committee to construct the South St. Clements Activity Center, and whereas negotiations have taken place and the two parties are satisfied with the construction documents, and therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the chief administrative officer sign the agreement on behalf of the municipality and Cameron Consulting Limited.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Spicer seconds. Any further discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Strang.
Is there a time where we can have a discussion with the group that, with the volunteer group that we've had for South St. Clements, with the project manager, that we could set up even on Zoom at some point, that with Brenna, whether yourself joins, whether the mayor joins, just to give them information?
To give some
Yes.
more information. I think as soon as we sign off on the contract and we have some designs, that would be a good time to do a little level of consultation, and make a very good point. That's been some of the discussions I've had with the contractor, that we need to have specific update points that we can share with our residents and the public about what's happening on this particular project.
I would like to have one with our group first, and then
Yes.
go out into the public too, because they have worked with.
Because they've worked a long time on the project.
Yes,
so.
yeah, but just, they've been our volunteers, and,
Yeah.
and I don't want to lose them, because they're, like, you know, just to keep them updated and communicate.
Good points.
Thank you.
We'll take a look at doing that. Would you want this before Christmas or after Christmas? As we're getting into the tight season.
Well, how about after you sign, let me know everything's signed up, and then I can contact them and say we would like to do, and maybe, because some of them do travel, that maybe burn, whether
After
they're,
Christmas, eh?
that maybe, I'm just thinking after
It's
Christmas.
tight already, it's
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, we're already,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because when we're gone to AMN, by the time we get back, December
Yeah.
is basically 2 weeks if you're lucky.
yeah, so, okay.
Okay, I think I have a mover and a seconder for the resolution, and if there are no other questions or comments, I'll call a question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
Okay, the next is the resolution. As you know, council passes a resolution for us to put a minimum bid, reserve bid on all properties that may go for a tax sale. And so for all those properties, we may have none, as we've had the last few times, because they usually come out of tax sale before it gets into that final process, but this is just as a precautionary to make sure that we have the resolution. So, resolution is whereas the date of the 2023 tax sale has been set for November 16, 2023, with a public auction to commence at 2 p.m. And whereas pursuant to section 372 of the Municipal Act, a municipality may set a reserve bid in the amount of the tax arrears and costs in respect of the property. Therefore, be it resolved, the Rural Municipality of St. Clements place a reserve bid on all properties in the amount of all arrears and costs in respect of each property.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, second. Councillor Sutherland, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, so that finishes up our communications for action.
There's one more item, Madam Mayor.
Oh, sorry.
And this is an adjustment to our one of our subdivisions that were approved. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a back and forth with Red River Planning and the RM as to whether the words "to be addressed within a development agreement with the RM of St. Clements" or "to enter into a development agreement" mean the same thing. In order to avoid any further confusion, I know that the executive director is working on it, but just to avoid any further issues regarding interpretation, we felt that it was easier to just come to council and update the resolution for that particular subdivision, where it says, where condition 3 was for the applicant owner to dedicate 30 meters wide riparian area for the residual lot for the RM, and the way to enforce it is through a development agreement. And so we said to be addressed within the development agreement, and we're changing that same specific requirement and saying that a development agreement be entered into with the Rural Municipality of St. Clements as opposed to be addressed. And so, with that, what I have is a resolution that's come forward. So it says, whereas subdivision S22 of 2968-2968 was conditionally approved by council on September 26, 2022, and whereas condition 3 was as follows: applicant owner can dedicate a 30-meter wide riparian area on residual lot the Red River measured inland from the ordinary high water mark restricted development to be addressed within the development agreement with the RM of St. Clements in order to help protect or reestablish functioning riparian areas where they have been altered to stabilize banks, provide aquatic and wildlife habitat, and protect water quality. And therefore be resolved that condition 3 be amended to read: applicant owner to dedicate a 30-meter wide riparian area on residual lot along Red River measured inland from the ordinary high water mark restricting development, that a development agreement be entered into with the Rural Municipality of St. Clements in order to protect or reestablish the functioning riparian areas where they have been altered to help stabilize banks, provide aquatic and wildlife habitat, and protect water quality.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, second. Councillor Sutherland. Questions? Why is this coming about? Like, it hasn't raised any concerns with the wording we've had for the last number of years, so what happened here?
From what I understand, Ingrid from planning emailed and they will not accept this condition. They will not enforce it unless it says to be entered into the development agreement. It's never been an issue in the past.
Well, they're entering into a development agreement in any event for the subdivision, and is this not
But
one of the conditions?
they were not prepared to put this condition in to that development agreement. And so this makes sure that it gets into it. We can discuss it more if you like afterwards.
Please. Okay, I have a mover, I have a seconder. If there are no further questions, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so now we're down to the accounts. So first one we have is the closed list of accounts.
Resolved, council approve the November 14, 2023 list of accounts, check numbers 23002011 to 23002113 in the amount of $979,462.64 for payment.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, second. Councillor Horbus, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, next is grants, and it looks like we have a couple of grant requests on our agenda. So the first one is Manitoba Crime Stoppers, and
Yes.
Deepak, what have we got there?
They've changed their request from last year. We had approved them for 11 cents or 10 cents per capita. This year they're requesting 25 cents per capita, and Brenna's put forward to be approved at 25 cents. Obviously, council can choose to reduce or approve it at a different level.
Right. Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
So that was my question. That's quite a leap.
That would
They only asked for 10 cents last year. Yeah, I mean, it's a good organization, but,
Well, I see also.
that's 150% increase.
It is, and if council so wishes, we can certainly delay this to next week's meeting and ask them to provide more detail as to how they came up with 25 cents this time.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing is that I don't see their request letter here, and usually those are
That's
attached.
what I was looking for.
Yeah, to the request, so. Okay, so we'll bring this one back for next week. Dave, did you have a question?
Yeah, regardless of what they come back with, I still, as Scott mentioned, I still believe it's kind of high jump, but we give them something, but not that much.
Right.
I don't care what they come back
I
with.
don't know, I think we should just, why don't we do it now and give them what we gave
Yeah,
them
that's
last year? You know,
Or a
more
little
money
bit
back. I mean, we can only afford so much too. I mean,
Well, we might be able to look at a little bit of a bump, but that's quite a bit, so that's why I would like
I
to
agree.
see their request letter, and as Deepak said, get Brenna to get a hold of them and see what's changed so much, like have they lost funding somewhere else that they're
Yeah.
requesting more from the municipalities? I'm not sure. Go ahead,
Or
Councilor
they have a
Spicer.
large expense because they're changing some of their operation or something, you know, it's just a big,
Yeah, yeah. So we'll bring it back for next week, and we'll, oh, go ahead, sorry, Sandra.
I was gonna say, I know it's a good committee, but do they do a report of what they do in our area also? That they're,
you get 1 year.
Yeah, I think we used to, and that's maybe something else we can ask them for.
they used to
This
come
is,
here.
this is grants from non-reporting agencies,
Oh,
for
okay.
non-reporting agencies as part of
it's a
our
little gray
grant. So they're
area.
limited to what they have to provide, but they're limited to the number of funds too.
Go ahead, Heather.
Did you guys want me to quickly update the package so you have it? Like I got documents here from her that I can just quickly add.
Oh, sure. We'll put them in.
I can
Take a look
update
at
the
it.
agenda super fast.
Yeah.
Then you guys can look at some of this stuff. Just give me 1 minute.
I do like Councillor Corbus's, just to go
Going
with
for
saying, I
coffee?
guess.
Okay, we'll just take
Okay,
2
go ahead.
minutes, yeah.
Take a little break,
Do
sure.
you want me to shut the camera off for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah,
This is tough.
yeah.
I don't need my smoke breaks anymore.
Did you quit?
I've quit a week before I got COVID.